The commercial capital of India, Mumbai is a fast-paced, cosmopolitan city with a population of close to 1.2 crores and peoples of all ethnicity and races exerting tremendous pressure on the city's infrastructure and resources. Roads are a city's biggest asset, and Mumbai is seeing a huge investment in infrastructure upgradation. Building and maintenance of roads seriously enhances the development of viable new industry, leading to better employment opportunity and ultimately economic growth. The present government policy is aimed towards making Mumbai the financial hub of Asia. With a total length of 1900 kilometers, Mumbai's arterial infrastructure is probably the most difficult to maintain. 11 lakh vehicles ply on this road every day, including 84,000 heavy vehicles. Upkeep of roads under such staggering conditions is extremely difficult, especially since it should not adversely affect regular life. Traditionally, majority of roads are built with either hot asphalt or hot sprayed bitumen with stone chips built into the hot mix. The current use of hot asphalt, though effective, has its drawbacks. It is heavily dependent on machines to ensure maximum productivity and results in road closures and traffic diversions. Hot mix also has a short window period of application before cooling, leading to unfortunate wastage of material. From an environmental and health point of view, the emissions from the heating process as well as the wastage are a grave concern. But there is an alternative, a solution: CARBONCORE road products. Using carbonaceous shale, which is an industrial byproduct and easily available, and a special scientifically formulated concentrate mixture, CARBONCORE has developed a new skid-resistant cold mix for laying roads or more heavy-duty resurfacing on already existing asphalt surfaces. This technology has proven to be extremely versatile in its applications all over the world for the past 15 years. 7,000 kilometers of roads have been laid globally using CARBONCORE. CARBONCORE has been tested by Africon, South Africa's leading road testing organization, according to international road building standards, and has also been tested by IIT Mumbai. Let us consider some of its advantages. CARBONCORE can be stored up to 2 weeks on site with only a tarpaulin covering it and can be reused by simply adding water. In its packaging, CARBONCORE lasts up to 12 months. CARBONCORE does not require heat, and therefore there is no time limit between production and application. Conventional hot mix has a 3 to 4 hour period in which to apply before cooling. CARBONCORE does not require a primer or a tack coat. Simply use water as a primer. Since water is used as a primer, it can be used even in the monsoons. CARBONCORE has 25% more surface coverage per ton as compared to conventional hot mix and is guaranteed to last thrice as long. A major benefit is that CARBONCORE can be applied at a minimum thickness of 10 mm as compared to 20 mm with hot mixes. This is especially unique and effective when resurfacing already existing asphalt surfaces. Moreover, the road is open to traffic immediately after compaction. Simply put, road repairs using CARBONCORE can be categorized into 3 simple steps: preparing the surface, laying the material, watering and compaction. Let us now consider each of these steps in detail. Preparing the surface, though it may sound simple, is the most important step in the process. Unfortunately, in a crowded megacity, the pressures of traffic, time, pollution and population, road repair and maintenance has been patchy and haphazard. Wear and tear on different roads is of different types. Sometimes just the upper surface wears off, making the road rough. Other times potholes are formed due to water seepage, which erodes the bitumen binding the road. When the base itself is not stable, entire patches of earlier maintenance work wear off, leaving the core and bedrock exposed. Therefore, care has to be taken to prepare these roads to make them suitable for the application of CARBONCORE. The most important point is that the road has to be level and the base on which CARBONCORE is applied has to be stable. Let us consider each of these points carefully. On some roads, when the wear and tear is mild, only the upper surface wears off. This leaves the road rough and patchy, slowing down traffic and increasing stress on cars. In such cases, the base is stable and strong. All that is necessary in this case is to clean the surface of loose particles and dust. This is best done using the conventional technique of first brushing the loose debris manually. Once all small stones and rubble has been brushed aside, the area is blasted with compressed air. The powerful blast of air removes all leftover debris and also blows the dust off the area to be repaired. This is very necessary to ensure best results. The compressed air leaves the area looking clean and the road is now ready for the application of CARBONCORE. Some roads are under more pressure than others. Arterial roads carrying heavy vehicles are more affected than others. Since heavy vehicles carry most of our basic infrastructure, the hampering of movement of traffic causes tremendous pressures. The conventional methods of using hot mix, being time-consuming, have of necessity had to be done in a hurry, without allowing the repaired area to cure and set. This has left roads patchy and uneven, with some areas higher and some lower than the original standard road level. In case of the area of the road being uneven, the patches should be leveled. If the patches are higher than the standard sub-base level, then they have to be chipped off manually. Care has to be taken to see that the base bedrock is not exposed. When the road surface has potholes and depressions, then they have to be filled to bring them to the standard sub-base level. The best way of doing this is to use DBM, dense bituminous macadam. DBM is a mix of small stones and sticky condensed bitumen. The area is first cleaned in the usual way, brushing away the stones and blowing the dust. Sometimes there is no choice but to expose the base. In this case, an emulsion primer or tack coat has to be used to stabilize the base. The application of an emulsion binds the sub-base and makes it stable, firm and therefore able to anchor the material. The DBM is then carefully poured into the depressions. It is then leveled using rakes. Care is taken that the sewage chambers remain free. Once the area is leveled to satisfactory standards, the potholes and depressions can be filled using stone aggregate. First, the area is filled with number 2 aggregate, which is coarse small stones, and then leveled with finer number 1 aggregate. It is compacted using a roller. Of course, CARBONCORE itself can be used to fill up the depressions and is more effective, but use of DBM is financially more viable. The road is now ready for the application of CARBONCORE. Let us now review the process of preparing the road surface again. If the road is rough but a stable sub-base, clean the area of all debris and dust. The loose stones do not allow the material to bind the base firmly, and hence, the cleaning process is most important to enable maximum productivity and best results. If the area is higher, then it needs to be chipped off manually. Care should be taken to see that the sub-base is not exposed during the process. All debris and dust to be cleaned once area is level. If the area is to be filled, then the depressions should first be cleaned of all dust and debris. An emulsion primer or tack coat is used to stabilize the bedrock. The depressions are then filled with DBM to level it to the standard base of the road. This is then compacted by rolling. The surface is now ready for the next step. Application. CARBONCORE is a unique product. This is because it uses water to bind. Water is one of the most erosive forces on Earth. Water has always been the prime cause for erosion of roads made using hot mix methods. But since CARBONCORE binds with water, water has no effect on it. You can imagine what an advantage that is in a city like Mumbai with high rainfall and constant flooding in the monsoon. It is therefore necessary to water the area that has been cleaned and prepared. Care has to be taken that there are no puddles. In case there are small puddles, all water has to be drained from them. Once the puddles are drained and the road is evenly wet, the area is demarcated using metal strips. The width of these strips determines the thickness of the application and ensures that it is level and even. The bags of CARBONCORE are then placed within the demarcated area at a distance of 1 meter from each other. Tests show the 25 kg bag covers an area of about 1 square meter at a thickness of 30 mm. The material is then heaved and spread. First, the material is evened using rakes. Once this is done, the entire area is leveled using a T. The recommended standard of laying CARBONCORE is an application of 30 mm compacted to 20 mm. Ensuring that the demarcating strips are 30 mm in width, we can be certain that the CARBONCORE is also at a thickness of 30 mm. The point is that the layer of CARBONCORE applied should be level and even. The area is now ready for the next step. Watering and compaction. CARBONCORE is a cold mix. Unlike conventional bitumen-based materials, CARBONCORE needs water as a binder. Water and compaction trigger the reactions necessary to harden CARBONCORE. Once the area is leveled, sprinkle water. Care has to be taken that the area is wet evenly and there are no puddles. It is now time for compaction. Using a light pedestrian roller, the entire area is compacted. Again, water is sprinkled along the area. Keeping the roller continuously wet ensures that the material does not adhere to it, leaving patches behind. Additional material should then be used to cover these patches. Sometimes the roller may be unable to reach some patches within the demarcated area due to existing structures or trees. Wherever necessary, the area should be tamped down manually using a stamper. The recommended level of compaction is from a thickness of 30 mm to 20 mm. CARBONCORE is a mix of carbonaceous shale and a specially formulated concentrate. The water and compaction acts as a trigger to the chemically activated carbons. This reaction effectively binds the area tightly together to produce a strong, durable and waterproof surface. The road can be opened to light traffic immediately. It is recommended that heavy vehicles be allowed only after 2 hours after the completion of work. So far, we have seen the entire process of using CARBONCORE to repair road surfaces. As a recap to the entire process, let us consider a repair job done in its entirety. This will give us an idea of the time frame required.